What's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you guys. If you don't mind, let me know you were here. Hit the like, share, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And of course, contribute to the conversation. You can leave a comment. So anyway, guys, I want to talk to you about something that really concerns me. And I think that more men should speak out about this too, because a lot of us, we're husbands, we're fathers, and a lot of us don't get to have our say when it comes to things like the birth of our children and the safety of our women, our wives, girlfriends, things like that. Of course, our babies. But I want to talk to you about an issue. All right, this is an issue that's been going on for a while when it comes to the health care of a lot of our women who are giving birth to these children, our children. And you guys know I'm not impressed with the current state of healthcare and hospitals and things like that. I've spoken out against things like certain vaccines, certain jabs. And I just feel like we're in a place now where the healthcare industry is more focused on industry than it is healthcare, and a lot of the human touch is missing. Now, I want to talk to you about this story that I saw recently, and it involves a couple, a woman who was moments away from giving birth, and she was turned away from the hospital in much the same way as Mary was turned away from having safe shelter when she was said to be giving birth from Jesus. Just sent away, sent away, sent away. That's interesting. I just came up with that on the spot. Very interesting. But anyway, let's get into this. I want to show you something, guys, and it is very disturbing. But I want to get your thoughts on it and what we might do about this. All right, so let's read what they have here, guys. And it says here, a black couple expecting, or a black expecting couple from Chicago, Leon and Mercedes Sherry Wells, were kicked out of a Franciscan healthcare crown point. I'm sorry, guys. Let me start over. A black, you know what's throwing me off? I really resent that they always have to put race on it. Like, I want people to understand the humanity of this, but I have to start off by reading it this way. A black expecting couple from Chicago, Leon and Mercedes Sherry Wells, were kicked out of a Franciscan health crown point in Crown Point. Okay, it's the way they wrote it too. They were kicked out of Franciscan Health Crown Point in Crown Point, Indiana, while the mother was in labor. The father had to deliver his own child on the side of the road. The family says the hospital should be held accountable for their negligence and racial bias. Okay, I can agree with most of that. But I do want to make a point about the racial bias thing in a minute. All right, let's just start off with what's going on here. Okay, let's see if we can bring this up.
My daughter's in active labor, and this is a Franciscan Crown Point being put out in active labor.
Wow. Ooh, okay. Like I said, guys, this any man who's been through this, any husband, any boyfriend, whatever, uh, this hits home, because in a lot of ways we feel helpless. I remember, my now ex-wife, but my son's mom, when we were still married, when she was about to give birth, all I could do was coach her through it. I was holding her hand and everything, and she was in so much discomfort, so much pain. Let's be honest about it. She was in so much pain, and I felt really helpless about that. But I was there. I was trying my best to soothe her the best that I could. But you really depend on the professionals when you're in a situation like that, because you don't know what you're doing. There's nothing you can do, but you see what she's going through here. All right, let's move on to the next video.
My daughter is being kicked out of this hospital and she's in active labor.
Ladies, imagine being in a situation like this. You know that you're about to give birth. You've been waiting for this for months, obviously. The blessed event is here. You don't know what's going on. And the place that you go to for help, they're turning you away. this is weird, but this is the reason why I don't want people to focus so much initially on the race part of this, because this is a human issue. I need you guys to understand that. This is the part that I'm always trying to talk about. Yes, we can see that she's not white. We can see that she's black. Yes, we know that racism exists. But guys, until you get consideration as a human being, human rights, none of this stuff, in my opinion, is going to change. All right? Outrage, righteous outrage, can only come from a violation of human rights, because black, white, all of that means different things to different people. And as long as we have to keep playing that game, then we'll be subject to things like this. All right, so she's being wheeled out. Let's go on to the next clip.
Is this your card? No. Oh, all right. I thought this was your card.
All right, she's being shown the door. All right, she's actually getting kicked out. All right, they're telling her she can't stay there. Now let's go on to the next clip. Oh my God. Mere moments after she left, she gives birth on the road. You know, fortunately, she had her husband there, which is another point that I want to bring up, guys. So many of our women have been lied to, that they don't need no man and things like that. In situations like this, it just proves beyond a shadow of a doubt how important it is to procreate, to build your future, you know, to have a man there, you know, who can advocate for you, who can have your back, who cares about you. We need to stop playing this game where we're just spitting out kids, just bastards over here, bastards over there. And I'll talk about that on another video, the problems that causes, but everyone knows the problems that causes, you know. But she's married, her husband is there, and there's the beautiful baby. There's the beautiful baby. But let me just go over here, because she actually wrote something on Facebook that I want to read to you also. The Facebook post from the mother of the newborn, and this is in her words. I was not told to go to another hospital to receive care. I was told to go home from the nurse on shift because she did not think I was in active labor. I was checked upon arrival at a little after midnight and told I was 3 centimeters by the nurse. I never seen or spoke with a doctor my entire stay. I was put on monitors for over 5 hours with steady contractions. I walked the halls of the labor and delivery unit with contractions 5 minutes apart, then 4 minutes apart, then 1 minute apart. I was checked for the last time around early Sunday morning. The nurse said she can feel the baby's head, but there's still no change, and I was at 3 centimeters. She said if my labor persists, then come back, but right now, you're being discharged. I begged to stay while still upstairs in labor and delivery triage. Cried out to the entire nurses station. Not 1 ounce of empathy by none of the nursing staff, just blank stares and cold words like, sorry, doctor's orders, you are to be discharged. The nurse that pushed me downstairs, pushed her downstairs in the wheelchair. All right, let's make sure we understand. She didn't push her downstairs. Touched my belly and said to my family, see, her uterus is still soft. I was treated so poorly and inhuman. I still can't believe it. All right, so once again, it's a human violation. It's a violation of human rights and consideration. She felt inhuman. All right, this is what I'm saying. Now, you hear from the father. All right, the husband actually has something to say about this. And I just want to make sure that we, just feel what these people are going through, guys. This is, let's see, the husband of the black woman who was kicked out of the Franciscan Health in Crown Point, Indiana, while in labor, speaks. Let's help this family get justice. All right, let's see what he has to say.
Thank you, family, friends. I want to thank all y'all for y'all support for what we're going through right now. But definitely gonna need y'all help. It's a lot of silent cries about what's going on, but I need y'all voice to be heard. I'm gonna leave a number to Franciscan, and so y'all can kind of, everybody angry, everybody sad, everybody mad, but I need y'all to voice y'all opinions to Franciscan so this can stop. This is totally unacceptable what we go through, and something needs to change. And
All right. So this is the husband slash father. You know, there's this running joke online that, you know, black men are not there. You know, they're not fathers and they run off and stuff like that. He's there. You know, he's voicing his outrage. There's the number to the place, guys. You know what I mean? So they want people to call up and express their outrage about what went on. But here's the thing, too, guys, because since I've been looking into this story, I've been reading some of the comments in the comment section. And some of you, not me, but some of you might be surprised to know that there's a lot of women of every walk of life. There's a lot of white women who are saying they've been through something similar to this. Because like I said, it doesn't come as a surprise to me because the healthcare industry is more of an industry. They're focused more on industry than they are actually healthcare. That goes with the pharmaceuticals and what they pump into us and our babies, you know, as well as, you know, just what they're out to get as far as kickbacks and things like that, you know. So a lot of people can bear witness that this is the state of things. Like, I hate going to hospitals. I hate hearing that people are going to hospitals, but there are some people that just have to, you know, like expectant mothers, unless you have like a doula or something like that, you know, someone who's home, and that might be an option, you know, because you see what's going on here. So there are women of every race, every persuasion who are bearing witness that things like this are going on. There are nurses who are talking about this. It just so happens that black women are disproportionately, like we are with a lot of things, black women are disproportionately affected by this. All right, where you see there are a lot of black women who are losing their children, they're losing their babies, in childbirth. There are a lot of them who are losing their lives in childbirth, you know, and this is a problem. You wouldn't know this because a lot of people are not talking about it. Michelle Obama certainly is not talking about it. She's busy talking about hair when she could be talking about something like this that is actually disproportionately affecting black women everywhere. But guess who is talking about it? Yo, surprise, the coon. All right, because I actually care about people. I actually care about our humanity and how we are regarded as human beings. All right, so let's finish what this guy is saying because I want to show you one other thing.
we can't change it without y'all help. So please, I'm gonna drop the number below. Give them a call. Let them know how y'all feel. We really appreciate y'all's support.
Okay, all right. We're just gonna move on in the interest of time. I just want to show you the article here. It says here, mom seeks action after being discharged from the hospital, giving birth in a car. Stripped of my dignity. All right, so the mother talks about being forced to leave hospital while in labor. Crown Point, Indiana. Mercedes Wells says she knew something was wrong when she went to the hospital to give birth and they did not put her in a labor and delivery room. I got something to say about that, but I'll get to that in a minute. Instead, the 38-year-old Mercedes says she spent 6 hours there until her contractions were just 1 minute apart. The nurse told her to go home. 8 minutes after being forced to leave, 8 minutes, she gave birth in her car. Now, meet 3-day-old Elena Wells. All right, and I believe that's the beautiful baby here. Look at her. Look at her. Let me get this off of her. Oh, she's adorable, guys. Yo, listen, man. I got a soft spot in my heart, right? I love my son more than anything in the whole freaking universe, right? But baby girls, right? I've always been told I should have been a girl dad as well, you know, but of course, you know, I got divorced and that didn't work out. But however, and it's a good thing because she'd just be spoiled all over the place. But there she is, melting my heart. Elena Wells, right? Meet 3-day-old Elena Wells. The adorable little girl is doing well, thank God, according to her mother. But Mercedes says she's still deeply disturbed that she had to give birth on the side of a road early Sunday morning after being forced to leave Franciscan Health in Crown Point, Indiana. Boom, I got it right. Mercedes is an experienced mother who gave birth to her 4th child. She says she was in a lot of pain and knew the baby was coming soon, but she says the nurse told her to leave. Now, there's something I want to show you guys before I just move on and we finish this here, right? There's something that I want to consider. There's a learning, there's a learning thing here, right? A teachable moment. She says, I was in excruciating pain. She's seen me in pain and agony, and I guess she still perceived me not to be in labor. Upon returning to the room, she's like, well, if you aren't further along in your centimeters, then, we got to send you home. Now, here's the point, right, that I want to make a point about here. Mercedes, who lives in Chicago, she lives in Chicago, says she was visiting Indiana 2 weeks before her due date when she felt like it was time. They chose the closest hospital, randomly chose the closest hospital. But when they made her leave, her husband Leon was driving them to the next closest hospital in Munster. Really? Munster? When the baby started to emerge. In God's grace, I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a medical license or anything to have a baby. Fortunately, things worked out and baby Elena arrived safely, but the couple and their attorney, Canon Lambert, says this is not the way it's supposed to happen. Now, guys, I just want to point something out here, okay? She was 2 weeks away from her due date, and she was away from home. Now, I remember my experience when my wife was about to give birth to our son and everything. We had everything planned out, right? We knew what hospital it was going to be. The birth plan was there, everything. 2 weeks away from her giving birth, 4 weeks away from her giving birth, we were going nowhere, okay? Now, I'm not saying that I blame them for taking this trip. Who knows what was going on? You know, there might have been a pressing reason why she had to go out of town. But I'm just saying, she rolled up in a hospital where they were not expecting her. There was no plan for her. There could have been other pregnant women who were scheduled to be there. You know, all types of things could have gone wrong. That hospital could have been a shitty hospital. As it turns out, it was, you know, in terms of what was going on there. And unfortunately, things happened the way that it happened. They chose the closest hospital. Bro, that's no way to give birth. You know what I mean? So if at all, if it could be helped at all, go with the plan. Stay where you're supposed to be. We had our bags packed and everything went smoothly. And as you can see, I'm Blek. We are Blek. You know, no, we didn't get turned away. You know, we got the best in care. You know, so I'm just saying, I am very, very sorry that this happened. But guys, we also have to learn things from this as well. You know what I mean? Like, stay close to home, especially the closer you get to your due date, so you lessen the possibility that something like this can happen. Now, unfortunately, this has been known to happen. Like I said, it's been known to happen to different types of women and things. I mean, here's one right here. You know, here's another one, unfortunately. This is going around as well. Check this one out.
When's your due date?
Right now.
Is your due date 11?
What?
How many times have you been pregnant?
3.
This is your third pregnancy?
Yes.
You have 2.
Now, once again, guys, I have to wonder, right? She seems to be possibly in an emergency room. Like, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but leading up to a pregnancy, I mean, usually, hopefully you have health care, health plans, things like that. All of this stuff should be already accounted for. You know what I mean? Like, to be asking her these questions while she is clearly in distress is an unfortunate thing indeed. It says here her son was born 12 minutes later. You know, in this situation, you don't see a father anywhere in sight, but that doesn't mean he's not there. I don't know. You hear a woman in the background, you know, talking. I think that's her mother. But I understand the nurse was fired. You know, it's very, very unfortunate, guys. Like, I hate to see it, right? I hate to see it. It's a little bit more, then we got to jump off.
It's in my ass.
You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor.
Yeah, she's in an emergency room. See, that's what I'm talking about. All of these questions that the nurse is just nonchalantly asking, it doesn't have to be that way. It shouldn't be that way. All of these things should have been taken into consideration before she actually ended up in a hospital ready to give birth to her child. You know, we have to also do better in caring for ourselves as well, guys. Right? This is something that I care a lot about, real quick, because my sister, who I've talked about before, my sister, who I love more than anything, you know, or just about anything, you know, she's right up there. You know, I love my family. All right. I just say this, but I love them all. They mean everything to me, you know, and she was giving birth to, you know, her third son, and her blood pressure spiked, and it wasn't looking good for a while, man. And, you know, she's an advocate now, but, you know, you guys know who've been following my channel, I lost my brother, and at the time I felt like I was going to lose my sister. This shit means a lot to me, bro. You know what I mean? Just the thought of it. She's my baby sister, you know? So, you know, all of this means a lot, bro. You know, all of it means a lot, you know? So we have to do better for looking out for ourselves. You know, of course, my brother-in-law, her husband, you know, he was there doing his job the way he should. You know, they've been married now for a while. You know, but all of this stuff is important, guys. We got to give ourselves a fighting chance. We got to give our children a fighting chance. And we have to be able to look out for each other. All right, so that's the important thing. And like I said, this goes beyond race, guys. This is a human issue. There are plenty of white women that I've heard talking about this who have been through similar situations. You know, there are plenty of Spanish women, Indian women, Asian. You know, it's just, this is our healthcare system today. We need every bit of consideration, every bit of help that we can get when we walk through those doors. And that's the point, guys. Look out for yourselves. Look out for your loved ones. Even if we're not talking about pregnant women, if you're going in with an injury, an illness, whatever, you need that advocate. All right, guys, as usual, I've gone on long. I always say that I'm going to make these videos under 10 minutes, but then I get started. You guys know I'm passionate. Listen, guys, thank you. Thank you for listening. I want you to get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this. Let me know if you've had any type of situations like this. I hope that you haven't, but if you have, sound off, guys, because we need to be there for each other. Thank you for putting up with me. I will catch you on the next one, guys. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. Rock on.